So the question here is, did he really bribe a public official? Why would the CME Group want to bribe their regulator, the CFTC? Is it to look the other way on trades? Is it because they don't ever seem to enforce position limits, or at least selectively enforce position limits? What was Terry supposedly bribing the CFTC for?
Welcome to Gold Silver Pros. Searching for the best precious metals deal? Shop with our trusted partner, Arc Silver. Access special deals on silver, gold, and platinum through our website or call 307-264-9441.
Hey everyone, this is Gold Silver Pros, and I am Robert Kings, your host, and it is March 2nd, 2023. It's a Thursday. This video will be posted the same day, and I've been wanting to bring this to you guys for a while, just trying to find space on the channel to do it. We've got a big one. CME Group CEO appears to, in a Fox News interview, admit to bribing a CFTC official. This actually made Yahoo Finance News, and I'll show it to you here in a moment. We've got the exact quote. We've got the transcript of what he said on Fox News. Now, was it a mistake? I'll let you decide, but I'm going to go ahead and present the video to you. Let's listen in.
Someone involved in business would. Why did none of the regulators do that? Where was Gary Gensler?
Well, I don't know where Gary Gensler was, but my regulator at the CFTC, I asked them, why in the world are you invoking the Commodity Exchange Act, Section 5, Paragraph B?
Let's listen to that one more time.
As someone involved in business would. Why did none of the regulators do that? Where was Gary Gensler?
Well, I don't know where Gary Gensler was, but my regulator at the CFTC, I asked them, why in the world are you invoking the Commodity Exchange Act, Section 5, Paragraph B?
Yeah, that's a good question. Why did he say bribed twice? Let's go to the Yahoo Finance article and see what they reported on. This is reported late last year by Matthew 𝘎𝙬𝘀, right here on Yahoo Finance. And it says here, in an appearance on Fox News Wednesday to discuss the FTX collapse, CME Group boss Terry Duffy appeared to say that he bribed a Commodity Futures Trading Commission, or CFTC, official. Tucker Carlson asked Duffy where SEC Chairman Gary Gensler was while FTX was mismanaging client funds. Duffy answered, I don't know where Gary Gensler was, but my regulator at the CFTC, I bribe. I asked them, why in the world are you invoking the Commodity Exchange Act? Now, is he bribing them to get information? Is he bribing them because of the way that they do business? There's a lot of context that we don't have here. I did find a little bit longer clip of this that I want to go ahead and play on Daily KOS, and we get a little bit more context. Let's play that one real quick as well. And actually, I'm going to make sure I have sound on that one. Let me do that really quickly. We do have it, and we are going to play this version as well.
The fundamentals of his company, as someone involved in business would. Why did none of the regulators do that? Where was Gary Gensler?
Well, I don't know where Gary Gensler was, but my regulator at the CFTC, I asked them, why in the world are you invoking the Commodity Exchange Act, Section 5, Paragraph B, which says the commission will entertain innovation. It also says in that same part of the act that you will protect market under surveillance and everything else to protect the consumers that are using those markets. They were using that. I want to know, was there pressure put on the agency?
So he's talking about, was there undue pressure put on the agency when he just admitted to bribing the agency? Let's read that again. Tucker Carlson asked Duffy where SEC Chairman Gary Gensler was while FTX was managing client funds. I don't know where Gary Gensler was, but my regulator at the CFTC, I asked them, why in the world are you invoking the Commodity Exchange Act? So, Terry, are you admitting to bribing the CFTC, maybe to give yourself an advantage when you're just criticizing FTX for that? I find that to be the pot calling the kettle black a little bit, but let's look at bribery. If we look in GovInfo here and look at the U.S. code on bribery, you find that in Title 18, Section 201. And it says here, for the purposes of the section, blah, blah, blah. And this is just defining persons. You go down here and it says, whoever directly or indirectly corruptly gives, offers, or promises anything of value to any public official. Well, if you're bribing somebody at the CFTC, I think that meets the requirements. It's in a public official. Or a person who has been selected to be a public official, or offers or promises any public official or any person has been selected to be a public official, or give anything of value to any person with the intent to influence any official act, okay, to influence such public official or person has been selected to commit or aid in committing or collude in any fraud or commission of fraud in the United States, or C, to induce a public official who's been selected to public official to do or omit any act in violation of the lawful duty of that person. Well, let's talk about Terry's background. I found it interesting, though, when I looked up his biography on CME Group. It says here in this paragraph, Duffy was appointed by President Bush and confirmed by the U.S. Senate in 2003 as a member of the Federal Retirement Thrift Investment Board, FRTIB, a position he held until 2013. The FRTIB administers the Thrift Savings Plan, a tax-deferred defined contribution plan for federal employees. So previous to being CEO of CME Group, which is an independent organization that runs the markets, he was confirmed by President Bush as a member of the government. So if anyone would know Title 18 bribery of a public official or witnesses, it would be Terry Duffy, because he worked for the government under President Bush, and he would be sworn in knowing that that's the case. So the question here is, did he really bribe a public official? Why would the CME Group want to bribe their regulator, the CFTC? Is it to look the other way on trades? Is it because they don't ever seem to enforce position limits, or at least selectively enforce position limits? What was Terry supposedly bribing the CFTC for? Was it not a bribe? Did he misspeak? He meant not a bribe, but the one that I meet with or that I spend time with. Bribe is a very specific word, and when you use that, it has a very specific connotation. So I have to think that Terry knew what he's doing when he used the word. But was it a misstatement? Well, in the article from Yahoo, they said they reached out and there was no comment afterwards on the fact that he said he bribed. So if he wanted to clear this up and say, no, I didn't really mean bribe, I just misspoke. I was thinking about FTX and what they could have done. And in reality, what I meant was the CFTC regulator that I have a relationship with. We go out to lunch with, I have a relationship. That's okay for somebody in the markets to have a relationship with the regulator, especially at that CEO or top level, because you want to make sure you're meeting the rules. Of course, most of those should be done under official circumstances, but I can see them, going out to a lunch or something like that. But that's not what he said. He didn't say the CFTC official that I lunch with or that we exchange emails with. He said the one that I bribe. And that's a very specific word. I just find that to be very curious. And in light of what's going on with the COT report, the Commitment Traders report, if you guys have been following me at all lately, especially the weekly market wraps or my two-part series, you can click down below to look at the CFTC cyber attack. Right now, we're a month behind on our Commitment of Traders reports on that same market, on the commodities market, the one that Terry happens to manage. And they can't produce the trader positioning data that the market uses. And according to the CFTC on their website, they, as the regulator, rely on the data from the market participants to regulate the market, which I find very interesting. And I'm going to show you something here on the CFTC's website about how they rely on the market for data as the regulator, the official government regulator, to regulate the market. And so there seems to be this really funny sort of connection between the CFTC and the CME Group. Well, here, right on the CFTC's website, this is the regulator of the commodities markets. It says right here on their data website, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission relies, listen to this wording, relies on data collected from market participants to conduct all of its mission functions, including market oversight, monitoring for liquidity and systemic risk, oversight of market participants. It relies on data collected from market participants for oversight of market participants. And know that I don't believe that's a misprint. I've called this out on videos before and they haven't changed it. Also, regulatory compliance and enforcement of the CEA. So the CFTC relies on data from the markets for enforcement of the CEA and for enforcement of its rules and monitoring of the market, except for the fact that the CME Group may be bribing the officials at the CFTC. Let's listen again.
The fundamentals of his company as someone involved in business would. Why did none of the regulators do that? Where was 𝘨𝑉𝘨?
Well, I don't know where 𝘨𝑉𝘨 was, but my regulator at the CFTC, I asked them, why in the world are you invoking the Commodity Exchange Act, Section 5, Paragraph B, which says the commission will.
Okay, so he admits to, or says he's bribing. Had the opportunity, according to Yahoo Finance, to follow up. CME Group did not immediately respond to Decrypt's request for comment. So they didn't respond. I've looked everywhere to see if Terry Duffy had a response. I haven't found it. If it's out there, please let me know. So he bribed. Terrence Duffy was a member of the government and understands the rules around bribes because he was a government official under Bush, according to his CME Group profile. 18 USC section 201 outlines bribery of public officials, which if you're bribing somebody at the CFTC, they're a public official. And, to do anything other than what they should be doing, it's codified right here. He would know that. First of all, he would know it as CEO of the CME Group. He'd also know it as a former member of the government. There's absolutely no excuse there. But if you look at that type of situation with the CME Group apparently, it looks like he admitted on Fox News and had a chance to follow up, and I don't see that in the press. So we're just going to go with what he said out of his own lips. As reported on mainstream media, Yahoo Finance, he admitted to bribing the CFTC, and the CFTC, that kind of makes sense, that relationship, because the CFTC relies on the market for data to regulate the market. So yeah, why wouldn't you bribe them? If they're going to let you modify and submit your own data, and to the point where they can't get the commitment of traders report up because of the Ion attack, which is right here on their front page. About the Ion attack, there was a third-party provider, Ion, which provides some of the data to the regulator. And the regulator, as of right now, has, let's see, report. They're up through January 31st. When it originally happened, it was January 24th report, and now they got the 31st. And I've looked at this report. It's nothing remarkable that stands out in terms of the numbers. We don't know if they're correct. But they're a month behind, a full calendar month behind, because we're now on March 2nd. We have data from January. We have no data from February on what's going on in these markets, on what's going on setting the metals prices and setting some of these other commodities markets. Let's look at some of the other commodities markets, not just metal. Let's look at electricity. Oh, gee, that only goes to January 31st. Well, wait a minute. Let's go to agriculture. Does agriculture futures have any bearing on what you pay for goods at the grocery store? Yes, they do, because this is where prices are determined in the U.S. They're determined on the futures markets. What about petroleum, oil? Oh, only January 31st. Well, what about financial stuff? What about like currencies? Canadian dollar? Yeah, that's only as of January 31st. So we don't even have currency data. We don't know if the currencies data is correct. And that's big, because when you're trading currencies, currency valuation, affects entire national economies and global economies. So if the currency information is incorrect, that's not good. Well, the legacy reports, the old way they did the reports, are still January 31st. So we don't have the reports from the CFTC group. Well, that's because they get them from market participants to conduct all of its mission functions, including oversight of the market, monitoring for liquidity. So let's put this all together for you. If this guy, Terry Duffy, who heads the CME Group, which is the markets themselves, is bribing regulators, and the regulators are getting information from other market participants to regulate the CME Group, is there any government oversight whatsoever of the CFTC? And if not, are the prices that we pay every day for energy, metals, agriculture, food products, are they correct? And I'm saying, given all this goofiness, I've got all sorts of questions of whether the CFTC is an effective organization. Were they ever given the right powers by the CEA in any subsequent legislation? Do they have the right funding? I have a series where I interviewed somebody who held himself out as the CFTC in the investigation division, which investigates trader activities, said he didn't have enough people, said he needed 2,000. And when he started, he had 69. When he left, they cut it down to 12, because he had to monitor all 1,000 products, not just the metals products, but all 1,000 products on the CME Group as a CFTC regulator. But he's getting his data from market participants. So does he even have the right data to regulate them? That's probably why there haven't been as many fines if something's going on that market. But then you also got the CEO of CME Group admitting on Fox News to bribing the official. So what effective regulatory oversight does the CFTC have at all in the commodities markets, precious metals markets, sugar, oil, currencies, other goods? 1,000 of these things that trade, according to Matthew Hunter, who said he worked at CFTC. And I interviewed him. Those videos are on our channel. Go look for those. So something's really funky here. We know that they don't have effective surveillance of trader activities. That's pretty obvious by the interviews and the 3 videos I did on those, with Matthew Hunter that I did on our channel. We have the CME Group CEO admitting to bribing officials and not apparently taking the opportunity to clarify that later. At least we didn't hear it, and I've looked and I haven't seen it. So I apologize if it's out there. I haven't seen it. And I did look. I did a lot of keyword searches for a couple hours. Nothing. I don't see anything else here. And you've got COT data we don't have, so we don't know what's going on with the traders. So we don't know of any right now of the data coming out about trader positioning and who's going long, who's going short is accurate for any of the 1,000 commodity products, I think, that are traded, at least the ones that have, the COT report on the CFTC's webpage. I'm looking at that going, yeah, CFTC not fit for purpose. I think it's obvious at this point the CFTC is not fit for purpose. And if somebody's actually bribing them and they're actually not having proper surveillance activities and they're getting data from the people that they're trying to regulate, all of those things point to the fact the CFTC is a wholly inefficient and ineffective regulator for our commodities markets. And that means all the prices that you look at, like for your oil, for your precious metals, for your food items that you buy in the store, everything that's traded on that CME, those prices may not be right. They may be manipulated. They just could have bad data. Traders may be flying blind and not knowing, don't have the positioning data, so they don't know how to trade. And so that could be affecting the positions that are now on the market. There is a lot of implication here about where our markets could be screwed up. And I think that's worthwhile pointing that out. I just wanted to do a video on it because we keep getting more and more and more evidence that the CFTC is not fit for purpose. And it may not even be their fault. It may be that they never got the funding that they needed. So I don't want people at CFTC to think that I'm really picking on you. I've said in my previous videos, I do believe you're underfunded. And I did bring on research from a tenured law professor at a major college who wrote tons of papers, not only on the commodities markets, but just markets in general. A very well-respected and very well-published author. I brought him on the channel, his work many times, not him, but his work. And I talked about his work on, commodities manipulation, the unprosecutable crime, which is the name of one of his papers, and talked about how the CEA never gave the regulator enough money or effective power. And so apparently the story is, if you put all the pieces together, our commodities markets have the appearance of being legitimate, but probably really aren't. In fact, I'm just going to say they're not. They can't be under this scenario with all of these problems. They can't, if any of these things that we're looking at are true, and they appear to be true because we're looking at the evidence. I'm not making this up. We're putting the evidence on screen. If any of that appears to be true, we have very little effective regulation over our commodities markets. And the power of this is that it's a $1 trillion worldwide market. Trillions of dollars flow through commodities every year on these markets. And so look at the potential ramifications on the economy, how assets may be mispriced, how people have made bets on things, millions or billions and trillions of dollars worth of bets that could be made on the wrong information, and what that could end up doing to our market and our economies. I think this is a very, very big story, and something that honestly, we need to take a look at as the public, because at the end of the day, the government works for us. We pay our taxes. Taxes are supposed to pay them. They're supposed to do the job. So we have a right to look at that and say, are you doing your job? Or can you even do your job? And those are both fair questions. Are you doing your job? Are you bribing officials? Is the regulator able to monitor you and get the right data? Can you even do an effective job? And I think the answer to all those is probably no, you can't effectively do that. Anyway, just a thought there. More information on the CFTC. The hits just keep on coming with them. So I wanted to put that up on screen for you guys. And to end the show, we're going to talk about our store that we have on Bonfire. So if you go to bonfire.com and look up the Gold Silver Pro store, or simply click on the link down below in the description of this video, you will see that we have a brand new merch store, and the design that you guys voted on, Silver is Freedom, is all over our shirts. And guess what? We're going to do more designs. We're going to roll new designs in here periodically, so you guys can choose the ones that you like. Right now, we have a ladies tee with Silver is Freedom on the front of it, and it comes in those colors, and it comes in many sizes. You can get up to a 4XL if you want, I believe, on all these, or you can get smalls and everything in between. We have a t-shirt version B, which is more for the guys. It's more the regular, collared shirt with a light color and dark lettering. If you like dark colors and light lettering, I have the blue version of this here, version A. I'll stand up so you guys can see it. Silver is freedom right here on the shirt. Keep on stacking, which is the logo you've seen on our hat for the last year and a half. And then we also have these really cool pullovers and that type of thing. If you're in a cold area of the country and you want something warm, grab one of those. These are very comfortable. And yes, these do help the program. We do make a little bit on each one sold. It's not a terribly great amount, but it does help the program. And you will be directly supporting the program by buying one of those, as well as getting a really cool piece of merch. And stay tuned, because not only we're going to roll out more designs, but eventually we may roll out more items for you if you like those as well. So stay tuned to our Twitter channel, where we'll put out from time to time polls on voting on, do we like that logo? Do you like that design? So stay tuned for that. All right, this has been Rob Kientz at Gold Silver Pros. This is March 2nd, 2023. And this is the video where we expose the apparent admission on Fox News mainstream media, covered by Yahoo Finance, of CME Group, Terry Duffy, the CEO, apparently admitting to bribing a CFTC official. Did not see a retraction of that statement anywhere. So I'm just going to go with that's what he said. And if you put that together with all the other stuff going on, apparently there is no, or at least not very much, effective regulation of our commodities markets, which are $1 trillion markets at the end of the day and affect prices around the world, and therefore affect the economy quite a bit. Big video here. Thank you guys for staying on the channel. Look below if you want to know other potential issues in the market, specifically related to gold. We have the Perth Mint series that you can click below. And something interesting has come out with regards to the Perth Mint, in that, ladies and gentlemen, there is going to be a commercial. Or not a commercial. There is going to be a show on ABC where they talk about the Perth Mint and the $1 billion scam that Daniel and I have outlined. And if you go down below to the Perth Mint series, you can see all 5 or 6 videos in there. And what's interesting is our work has caught the news of ABC TV. And we kind of knew that this might happen because it was submitted to ABC TV by a good friend, John Adams, of In the Interest of the People. And so therefore it got the attention, and I think they're going to talk about that scandal. So we're going to put up real quick, just the real quick video teaser for that, which is really super cool because Daniel did a really good job reporting this, and we put a bunch of videos on the channel. Again, go to the Perth Mint series below to see what this video is talking about from Four Corners.
Gold is a money launderer's dream. All the places.
Whether silver and gold isn't be some sort of criminal activity.
The gold industry's dirty secret.
You're talking about a huge amount of money that's moving around.
I don't know what you're referring to.
The government can't sit on its hands and pretend this hasn't happened.
Ultimately, the bill will be borne by taxpayers.
If this gets made public, what happens?
Four Corners, Monday, ABC TV and ABC iView.
So it's ABC TV. I want to say it's in Australia. And thanks to John Adams for helping us get that word out there. And thank you to the press in Australia for picking up that story that we did last year. Again, if you want to see the genesis of that story that's going to be on Australian TV, this investigation that Daniel and I did, which started the whole Perth Mint questions, we looked at the balance sheet. We did, a trial balance. We said, we think there's an issue here. That story went on Kitco. The CEO went on Kitco. We responded. All of that's below in the Perth Mint series. And that's apparently going to be out on Australian TV here pretty soon on Four Corners. Thank you for publishing that on Australia TV. It is the first such report that we've done here at Gold Silver Pros that has made mainstream news on television. We hope that there's more where we can expose more stuff, such as apparently the CME Group bribing CFTC official. At least that's what was said. All right, until next time, this is Rob Kientz with Gold Silver Pros. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks for watching. We selected these videos just for you. Check them out. And remember, $4.99 a month keeps the lights on and the channel going. So join our Gold Silver Pro supporter membership. We appreciate your support. Keep stacking.